every spoken word, what your soul has longed for, what your heart can feel, is already here, is already real.
There is no one out there, there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside of yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me. There's just one, there's just unity.
One power, one presence, one light to lead the way. How loving, how knowing, that answers when you pray.
When the world looks darkest and your eyes can see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are unity.
Good morning and welcome to Unity of Ventura's online Sunday service. My name is Sherry Lieberg. I'll be your hostess this morning. I'd like to extend a special thanks to each of you for honoring the call of your heart to join us this morning, either in person on our Zoom service or perhaps viewing us in an encore presentation on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel or on our website. We extend a special greeting to those of you who are joining us for the first time. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, please know that we are delighted to have you with us this morning. Here at Unity of Ventura, we remember that we come together in one mind, one heart, and one consciousness in order to extend and to receive love and support from one another. We also do this to raise our consciousness and that of our community and our world. When we do this, we transcend the limitations of time and space, and something magical happens. So please know your presence and your participation and your consciousness are so appreciated and so important. Here at Unity of Ventura, we practice unity principles, and we teach and practice them, as taught by our co-founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. We see beyond the physical realm. We use our spiritual sight to interact with the world, knowing we are one with God. And from that sacred perspective, we welcome people of all philosophies, all upbringings, all lifestyles, all backgrounds, all ways of thinking, all faiths. And that is why we are called Unity. Let's take a moment now to go into our hearts for a time of opening prayer. Sweet Spirit, as we just rest in your light and your love, We open our minds and our hearts to center ourselves in your peace and your joy. We relax into your clear, calming presence. And now, centered in your infinite goodness, we extend a blessing to one another, to our community, and to our entire world, affirming that the world's leaders are open and receptive to divine guidance that promotes peace, well-being, and the spread of loving kindness. And now, united in consciousness and buoyed by the love that never ends, we give thanks now in advance for today's lesson, that it galvanizes our spiritual growth, for the music that uplifts and inspires us, and for the wonderful spiritual family whose love and support and prayers sustain us. For these and for all of our blessings, we give great thanks. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen. We continue now with the reading of the daily word, remembering that we are one. We join millions of readers of the daily word all over the world. Today's daily word comes to us from August 18th, 1957. The phrase for today is law of God. The affirmation for today is, today I seek understanding and awareness of the law of God. The law of God is the law of the universe, the law of life. It works whether we know it or not, whether we understand it or not. It's a higher law than the physical laws of the universe. It's the spiritual law that's the basis for all else. Today, I would open my mind and heart to receive understanding of the law and instruction as to how I can live according to it. If there are things in my life that I would change, then it is probable that I've been going against the law of God instead of with it. Understanding this, I know that I can change my life, perfecting any and every imperfection as I gain understanding of the law. Dear God, teach me to know your law. Give me understanding so that I may live my life in accordance with the law. Under your law is perfect justice for all. Under your law is radiant love and an immeasurable abundance of all good. Dear God, let me know your law and help me to live it. Today's daily word was inspired by Psalms chapter 119, verse 18, which says, "Open my eyes that I may see the wonderful things in your law." The phrase for today is law of God. The affirmation for today is, today I seek understanding and awareness of the law of God. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Forgotten, we are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God.
We sleep in dreams, both deep and bright, sailing through the velvet night, refreshing the soul to the spirit's delight.
Living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. We are living in the heart of God. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten.
Please join me now as we affirm our statement of truth. I'll say it once and then ask you to repeat it with me. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. Let's join together in saying that from the heart. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God the Good. I invite you now to a time of going within and resting in the divine presence. Find yourself a comfortable position and focus on that place where God indwells you. And allow my words to be your own. Today, I open my mind and my heart to God's truth. Today, I invite God to reveal universal wisdom to me. Today, I trust in the justness of God's universal law, and I align my heart, my mind, with God's infinite good. Today, I deliberately choose to build my life upon the steadfast and secure rock of God's law. just for this moment, rest in the presence of God. Trust in God's divine plan for your highest good. And let the peace of God wash over you and through you. Oh, sweet Spirit, thank you for this time of resting in your presence, for this reminder of the goodness and the justness of your truth, and for your constant presence and guidance in our lives. All through this day, let me remember that I have chosen to build my life upon the rock of truth that is God's law. It's time now to return your awareness back to this time and place, feeling refreshed and renewed as we affirm, so it is and so we let it be. Amen. And now I am so excited and so honored to introduce our featured guest speaker today, Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes. Reverend Temple is the very first candidate that has been cleared by the Ministerial Search Committee as someone who we want to have as a guest speaker as we resume our search for our new minister. Reverend Temple is a minister ordained not just in Unity, but also in the Center for Spiritual Living. So she's got dual spiritual foundations here. She is an internationally known speaker and trainer. She has got an enthusiastic following on her Unity radio program, and she has led thriving ministries in Florida. So you ask, what's she thinking about coming to Ventura for? Well, she's going to explain her guidance either during her talk, which I haven't heard yet, but I can't wait, or afterwards in our Zoom session. So we're inviting you to stick around to get to know Reverend Temple a little bit more and to find out more about her life and vision. So please join me in extending a warm Unity of Ventura welcome to Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes. Temple, welcome.
First of all, I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to be with all of you today, and your amazing musicians and your platform leader, Sherry, your wonderful administrator, Jana. You just have such an awesome team, and it's really great to connect with all of you and to know that you've had tremendous leaders. I admire your leaders so much, Reverend Beth Ann, as well as Reverend Kathy Jean. You have been very, very blessed by strong leadership, and most importantly, the modeling of what it is like to be a New Thought, a Unity student. So I am graced in this joy to be in your consciousness today. What a ride, a moment that we will have together this day. I love the story about the mom that she's cleaning up around the house, and she asked little Johnny if he would please go out on the porch and get the broom. And he says, but mom, it's really dark out there. It's really dark out there. And mom says, well, it's okay, Johnny, God's out there. And so he looks back at his mom and he says, well, okay. So he goes over and he opens the door and he says, God, if you're out there, would you please bring me the broom? I don't know about you, but on my spiritual journey, on the journey back to my heart, I found in my life there were a number of times that I anticipated and perhaps expected God to do something for me, that at that particular growth moment, I was absolutely unwilling to do for myself. And that growth has really changed and transcended my life, is to understand that what I am asking God to do through me, I must be willing to allow to happen from a place of a sacred heart. And so, in that connection, having started in Unity since I was 19, I was so turned on with mastermind principles, with Jack Boland, and so engaged in that reality of my thinking and the power of thinking. I loved Norman Vincent Peale. Like so many of you, I was fully engaged with Eric Butterworth and so many trailblazers. But it was so much about, for me, my hearing at the time was focus on your thinking, change your thinking, and your life will change. And what I recognize and what I've seen many years as a spiritual leader is that in that initial beginning, when we change our thinking, we focus on the words we use, we focus on what our mind is doing. Absolutely, there's a tremendous amount of growth. There's a new level of understanding that we have with life. We understand that we're working with natural laws. And even the people that say the laws aren't working, they work for them by not working. So we really embody that, and we understand that, and we catch ourselves within our own evolution of, wow, I got to pay attention to that thinking again. Here I go. I need to surround myself with some more dynamic people, or that radical positivity. But yet underneath that, in my own observance, I realized that there was a call, there was a need to deprogram a lot of things that had been already established in my life. The practice of fear, the practice of saying no when I meant yes, the practice of hesitation when I wanted to play further out. And so I realized then that I was talking for myself as well as teaching for others this journey that we call the heart. And the physical heart, yes, surprisingly in our culture, that we have more people die with heart issues than we do of cancer and other related challenges that people have in their physical dimension. But the physical heart is one thing. I'm talking about the heart of the soul. I'm talking about that inner voice, that heart talking to us, that inner ability to hear. And as it would say in scripture, that eyes have not seen, nor ears heard, nor hath entered into the hearts of humankind the things that God has in store for those that love, and love well, and love with life, and love with joy. So I realized that it required me to train my mind. So change my thinking, yes, but to train my mind, because a trained mind equals an open heart. And to break through some of those responsive patterns of holding back, of making excuses, of telling myself these stories that were no longer applicable in my life. One of my special songs is called The Whiz, and it starts out by saying, if you believe within your heart, you'll know. It doesn't say if you believe within your head, you know. It doesn't say if you believe within your thinking, you know. It says if you believe within the heart of your soul, you'll know. You'll really, really know that no one can change the path of life that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you say it's yours. And to me, we're part of this great calling now in our society, in our world at large. We're part of this awareness to open up our heart so we may activate the greater essence of why we're here, why we were sent, and the work that we are here to do individually as well as together. And so it's, what do you believe within your own heart? What are the stories that you tell yourself? Do you believe that you will get disappointed? Do you believe that someone's going to hurt you? Do you believe that there are risks when you put yourself out there? Do you believe that too many times you've loved something and it's gone away. You know what? You're probably absolutely correct about every one of those statements. And you're correct because you believe that to be true about every one of those statements. And it becomes a law in your life. And how do I know that? Because those used to be the conversations that were running in my mind and in my heart. But when we deepen the journey of the heart, no one can ever disappoint you. No one can ever hurt you. No one can ever disappoint a place that you're supposed to be or have, because there is a true path on your own journey that you are to have. And yes, people will leave. Things will happen. Changes will happen. You will lose the illusion of control from time to time, but you don't change the way you love. As a matter of fact, it makes you be willing to take the risk even more. I feel so much for people who say, oh, I'm never going to get a dog or a cat, or, I'm never going to love again because, they don't live that long. No, I'm not going to get into another relationship because, the last person I was hurt, and and often I'll say, well, when was that? And it was 25 years ago. Oh my gosh, I thought you were talking about, just the other day. Part of life is the knowing that love isn't put in our hearts to stay, and love isn't love until we give it away. And so it's karma. It really is karma. And just let it be what you perceive that others may have done to you because they did it once. But if you have made decisions that prevent you from living, you have allowed that energy to do it to you time and time and time again. So on this journey that we call life, it's like Jungian psychology that, first of all, you want to realize that you are asleep, and then you wake up, and then you die so you can be born. And you cannot be born until you die, and you cannot die until you wake up. And I think that one of the fallacies that we have in our society is people entertain the idea that we are born and we die one time. And that is certainly not true. We can resurrect any day of our lives. We are born anytime we make a new decision, anytime we train our mind, anytime we open up and we say, here I am, Lord, here I am, law, here I am. Bring on new energies, new opportunities, new people. Bring on that incredible power. Fill me up so that I may give it away. Fill it up so that I may share that. We wake up to the idea that we're born and we die. We allow that old nature to go away so that we are always this evolution, so that we are always in the becoming, and we truly are mystics. And somebody was interviewing me the other day, and they seemed surprised when I said that. And they asked me, are you saying that we're all mystics? And I said, well, yeah, we've been living out the greatest mystery for the last 15 months that many of us in our human lives have ever faced, because we have been living in the mystery of what we absolutely don't know. And for many people, it has created the Great Awakening. I'm sure that many of you have made some life choices and changes because you have been quiet, still, in a place of non-moving when we were all in our homes and not traveling and not into the busy making. We have all made some great significant discoveries of what our heart and our soul is really calling us to do and to experience and to witness. So yes, congratulations. Give yourself a hand. If you didn't know you were a mystic, you certainly are one. just join without any hesitancy, because you're being called forth with that. Gary Busey, he's an actor. He had a near-death experience on a motorcycle. And he said very clearly, I've never forgotten it. I heard it. I was in my 30s, and it's really stayed like embedded upon my being. And he said that the secret of life is not whether we will live or die, but it's the parts of ourselves that we allow to die while we're living. I'm going to say that again. Really want you to feel that on your own journey of your heart, that the secret of life is not whether we will live or die. It's the parts of ourselves that we allow to die while we are living. And that has been my mission, my real focus in this life is to not allow myself to die while I'm living, to be open to new experiences, new opportunities, to let go, to keep that heart willing to share. And I didn't say it was always easy, but it's harder not to, because you either have a hardening heart that is closed, that is shut down, or you have the opportunity to be forever young and open-hearted and love as if you could never be hurt, as a famous poster may say. And so it's in that love and in that consciousness. And I feel it's like a spiritual relocation. And that's what I talk about in my book, When Did You Die? I talk about the relocation that many of us have had. You lose a job and you were caught off guard, or you were in a relationship and you discover that they're not willing to go the long-term path with you, or you have a diagnosis and you're so caught off guard by it because you had no idea. You thought you were relatively healthy. And so a spiritual relocation is when the spirit within us, the soul of us, the spirit within us pushes us to move forward in a new direction that by ourselves, within our being comfortable, that we more than likely would not have done, because we would have just flowed with it. I mean, you do realize that that's part of our mission in unity, isn't it? Is to offer comfort to the afflicted, but to afflict the comfortable. And I really believe in this life, we're not here to be comfortable. We're here to really discover, as Jesus said, you know, greater things have I done, greater things shall ye also do. And I take that deeply to my heart, because what can we accomplish in this life? And to me, it's just the beginning, and we're just getting started. Wow, we're just getting started for that to be. And so in that space, it's immeasurable every day of your life. That spiritual relocation is like, what is bringing you energy and what is taking it away? What is bringing you energy and what is taking it away? And it really is about, are you doing the things that make your heart sing? Are you having these experiences that really light you up? A number of years ago, I was co-hosting a group of people going to Brazil. And it was, for some of us, it was our second time to go. And we had quite a group going here from Florida. And about 2 weeks before time for us to depart, I just started getting this message in my heart that it wasn't mine to do. It just really wasn't mine to do. And it was really strong. And so I told my wife about it. I said, I'm not going. And she said, yeah, but all these people are going and I'm going. And I said, I know, but you'll have your sister and y'all can have so much more fun, you know? And I said, but I just must listen to my heart. I know it's what I'm supposed to do. And so I gathered the group together and I shared with them that I wouldn't be joining them. And it was, you know, I had been processing it. So giving them credit, they needed to process as well. And they were like, we can't believe it, you know, that you're not going. And I said, well, what's more important to me is that you believe that I teach listening to your heart. And who would I be if I didn't do that? How could I possibly be a leader and tell you to listen to your inner voice, your inner intuition, your tool for your heart? Who would I be if I told you such a thing week after week after week? Watch the laws, listen to your inner guidance. And I'm not doing that. I would have to go do something else, you know. I would definitely not be able to be a leader teaching such values. And so what occurred, of course, is 2 or 3 days later, the minister that was one of my dear friends that I had replaced here, his wife died that day. And I was so grateful that I was here for him and that my heart could feel with him that love and that energy, and that I got to not only hold her hand in her last moments, but that I got to hold his and be here. And I wouldn't have missed that for anything. So here I am now at this place in my life. And since January, initially getting messages, you got to go visit California. You got to go to California. You got to go see your friends there. You got to go see your other family there. You got to go to California. And with the message then becoming louder in my heart, Temple, it's time to go west. You're moving to California. And that's my heart. That's my heart calling me to move to California. And so here I am on this journey that we call life. And here I am hearing great things about your heart there at Unity of Ventura. And I'm just extremely moved by this entire experience and knowing that there's an inner listening that's going on called the journey to the heart. I specifically chose this background because it's a beautiful canvas photograph in my office, and it's a bridge. I believe it's from Vietnam, but to me it reflects the whole teaching of what we're about, either as students or leaders of the Unity Foundation, of who we are in New Thought, of what we represent. I can certainly say for me, it reflects the early days of my life that I was like in a fog. I was in a fog on this journey that we call life. I was crawling across this wobbly bridge. And on the other side of it, though, was this thriving tree. On the other side of this, having had my own woundology as a family who so discounted me when they discovered as a teenager that I was gay, and my bridge was very wobbly. My foundation was wobbly, and in that space, when I found the teachings of unity, and I heard for the first time in my life, Temple Hayes, you are God's beloved, with whom God is well pleased. Wow. Imagine what a concept. You are God's beloved with whom God is well pleased, because I'm telling you, that wasn't what I was hearing in other lessons. I was hearing that God was disappointed, that I was destined to hell, that I was an extreme disappointment. And here unity brought me to that thriving tree, that thriving energy that is called life. It's that same energy that when you think about it, when you cross an area or you're walking on a path and you see that little plant that bursts through cement so it may have life, I ask you, what are you willing to burst through? What are you willing to burst through? Is sometimes you may feel like you're in a fog as you are walking across this bridge. What are you willing to burst through in order to open your heart and in order to be that thriving experience that we call life? We're not here to just be ordinary. We're not here just to get by. We're here that by the very nature of our being, people go, whoa, who is that person? How are they so alive? At whatever age you are, at whatever you're walking through. And this is the way that we are so duped in our society, is that we're taught in a backwards way. The challenges you have been specifically sent to you to draw out of you more of who you are destined to be. often people will say, oh, I want to be a leader, or I want to be a teacher, or I want to do great things. Oh, but I don't want to have any challenges. Oh, I don't really want to go through anything. Oh, I don't want to be inconvenienced. Well, how in the world are we supposed to serve others with a sacred heart and have compassion and empathy if we don't understand, if we don't at least have some sense of knowing what it is like? And that was a huge shift for me, is that when I realized, instead of begrudging the dismissals and the challenges and the family woundology or whatever all that was, rather than seeing that as something that had been in my way, it was actually something that created the way within me. It brought out more of who I am in my humanity. It brought out more of who I could be and destined. And that's the story of Myrtle. You know, I get kind of tickled when people are into metaphysical malpractice in unity and say, oh, you know, let's don't talk about a condition, or let's don't give the condition any power. And I'm very quickened to say, well, what if Myrtle Fillmore had felt that way? You know, Myrtle Fillmore had a condition called tuberculosis. And from that condition called tuberculosis, she sought to go through that fog, to go across that wobbly bridge, and to step into that thriving nature that we call life. And that's one of the things that she said. And one of her greatest, most popular quotes is that in life, I have made the greatest discovery. It's that vibrancy. It's that energy. It's that essence. It's that true being of who we are, for sure. That beautiful, rich essence of who we are and who we can be. And so I think about the space that we have. I'm mindful of a story of a beggar that's outside of the king's castle. And he sees a big sign that the king's having a party. And he goes and he talks to the guard at the gate. And the guard says, you know, exactly what is it that you want? And he said, well, I understand you're having a party and that, you know, you're celebrating the king, and I want to come. And the guard said, you're not dressed. You're like this homeless guy, and there's no way that you can come. And the guy won't leave. He said, I really want to talk to the king. So finally, he sends word to the king, and the king says, well, you know, let him in. It's really okay. And so the beggar, the homeless guy, he goes to the king, and he says, I just really want to celebrate you. And I want to come to this party. I want to be here. I want to experience this. And so the king said, I want you to come. And so he calls his son, and he says, take this man and let him have one of your royal outfits. And so the son takes the man and gets him all suited in this wonderful royal attire. And the homeless man looks in the mirror at all the beauty and this wonderful outfit. He looks so gorgeous. But then he looks back and he sees his tattered, weathered clothes. And he has this moment, and he runs over and he grabs the clothes and he holds them very close and near to his heart. He just clings to them. And so he goes to dinner holding those clothes. He clings to them with everything that he has. He was never known that evening as the guy that reflected the blessings of the king. He was only known as the beggar that held on to the clothes that he once wore. And isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth of who we can be, with this amazing teaching that is sharing with us that we are here to reflect the greatness of God? We are here using words like infinity, one presence, one power, possibilities, great things Jesus did, greater things shall ye also do. We are here to look at the mighty and the great that is calling forth from the journey of our heart. But often, don't we run back? Don't we grab the clothing of our former understanding of a past life, of a woundology, of something that no longer serves us? Isn't it time to let it go? Isn't it time to step forward, to go all the way across that bridge and allow the mighty presence of God to touch your soul so that we might be touched by the soul that you carry? Oh my gosh. I'm going to close with a simple, entertaining story because I love cars and I love to talk about cars. So there was this woman that she was driving and she came to a traffic light and she was in a hurry. She was so busy. She was in such a hurry. She just had to get to her next destination. And the man in front of her, she thought would just go ahead through the yellow light and just keep on going. Well, he didn't. He came to a real halting stop. And she was so taken back by that. And she landed on her horn. She just started blowing her horn. She was so angry. She started doing sign language out the window. Well, by this time, a police officer started recognizing what was going on. And so he pulled up behind her and he pulled her car over and he said, "Ma'am, I need you to get in the car with me. I need to look at your registration and your driver's license, of course." And he says, "Yeah, I need you to come on down to the station with me." And so she does. She goes down to the station. She's there for a couple of hours. And then in that time, he comes back and he says, "Okay, ma'am, it's okay for you to go now." And she says, "I appreciate that, but I don't even know what I did. I have no idea why you even, arrested me." He said, "Well, ma'am, you have to understand it from my point of view." He said, "I see the way you're acting. I see the way that you are carrying on. And I looked on the back of your car and you had all these bumper stickers like namaste, follow me to unity, love your neighbor, have a joyful heart, let there be peace. Om, your way home." And he said, "Ma'am, you have to understand what that was like from my point of view. I thought you were driving a stolen car." I thought you were driving a stolen car. I don't know about you, but I don't want people to think that I allowed my life to be stolen because my heart was not as open as the potential that it had. I don't want moments in my life to be stolen because I was too busy wanting to be comfortable or concerned of what other people may think of me. I want to live fully out. And I see that for all of us, not only as individuals, but I welcome the journey that is possible for all of us to have together. We don't want these amazing teachings to ever reflect less than the greatness of what is possible. God bless you on this amazing journey that we call life. Namaste.
This might be a pool like I've read of in books, connected to one of those underground brooks, an underground river that starts here and flows right under this bathtub, and then who knows, it's possible. Anything's possible. It might go along down where no one can see, right under State Highway 203, right under the wagons, right under the toes of Mrs. Ambrosio, who's hanging out clothes. It's possible. Anything's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible. This might be and maybe some fish might be swimming towards me. I'll read. It's possible, it's possible. I'll read. It's possible, it's possible. Oh, the sea is so full of a number of fish. The fellow is patient, he might get his wish. And that's why I think that I'm not such a fool when I sit here and fish in McElligot's pool. It's possible. Anything's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible. I'll read. It's possible, it's possible. I'll read. It's possible, it's possible. Oh, the sea is so full of a number of fish. The fellow is patient, he might get his wish. And that's why I think that I'm not such a fool when I sit here and fish in McElligot's pool. It's possible. Anything's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that was Poem Howard doing the sweetest version of It's Possible. And she was backed so beautifully by Smitty and Julia and our drummer Greg as well. Thank you all. And Reverend Temple, I speak not only for myself, but I think for the entire congregation when I say that was an amazing lesson on wholeness and healing and the journey of the soul. I know that anyone who watches this program live or after the fact is going to be so uplifted as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now this is a time where we as metaphysical students practice the spiritual principle of giving to the place that uplifts us and spiritually nurtures us. When we do so, we just galvanize the principle of divine circulation, and we prompt our highest good to come to us faster and easier. I'm all for that. And by supporting the place where you are spiritually fed, then the unity message keeps on going, offering hope and spiritual sustenance to others. Now, if you've watched one of our programs before, you know there's lots of ways that you can donate. So I'm just going to leave it to you to know that. And if all else fails, go to our website, unityoventura.org. There's a donate button, and then just follow the online on-screen instructions. So, whatever methods you use, in whatever amounts you are divinely guided to give, just know that we are so very grateful for your support. And with that, let's take a moment to turn within. Find that place inside of infinite abundance and love and peace. And as you rest in that wonderful indwelling presence, it is from that sacred space that I invite you to align with this statement. I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly. I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly. And as that statement resonates within you, please hold your gift in your hand or in your heart as we bless it with our offering blessing. I'll say it once and then ask you to join me in consciousness in repeating it. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I receive. So let's say that together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I receive. Sweet Spirit, we are so very grateful for your infinite goodness and abundance, and how you have inspired us to share our prosperity with Unity of Ventura. We acknowledge and we bless the gifts that are being given so willingly, so joyfully, so lovingly. We affirm that these gifts are used to further the will and the work of God through this ministry. We salute, we thank, we bless each giver, knowing that they have been open and receptive to divine guidance. And we know that they have given to us from a place of loving kindness and generosity. In turn, dear God, we know, we affirm that you are richly blessing each giver in magnificent and wondrous ways for sharing their prosperity with us. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And now, as we begin to close our service today, we extend great thanks once again to the amazing Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes for her incredible lesson, and to the Unity music team for the music, the songs that just bless us every single week. We also salute the technical wizardry of Smitty West for all the behind-the-scenes shenanigans that he does to bring this service to you each week. And especially, we thank and we bless each of you for being part of this service, in mind and in heart. It would not be Unity of Ventura without you. Again, a reminder, please stay with us at the conclusion of the Zoom service today for a chance to meet and chat with Dr. Temple, Reverend Temple Hayes, to get to learn a little bit about her and her vision that's drawing her to Unity of Ventura. You can ask some questions or just hang out, so stick around. And also, if you are in need of or interested in receiving prayer support from our prayer team, please reach out. You can call the phone number of the Unity office, you can send an email, whatever it is that you want to reach out. They would be honored to hold you in their daily prayers. Don't do it alone. And now, we conclude our service by singing the peace song, by saying the prayer for protection, and then by inviting you to return next week. Until then, God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take,
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.